All right. Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. It's time to get into it. Today's topic, something I know a lot of you out there are thinking about. Can you really, set up a full drop shipping store in, 5 minutes?
5 minutes?
Yeah,
wow.
5 minutes. At least that's what Spocket is claiming.
Okay.
And that's what we're going to be looking at today. It's from a YouTube video about Spocket and how to set up your drop shipping business. So let's jump into it. 5 minutes.
Okay, so 5 minutes that's a pretty aggressive timeline.
Right.
I think before we get into the kind of specifics of Spocket and all that,
Sure.
we should probably level set on drop shipping in general.
Yeah, great idea. What is drop shipping?
Yeah, for anyone who's not familiar.
Yeah.
So it's basically a business model where you don't have to handle any inventory yourself.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
You partner with suppliers who store and ship products directly to your customers. So you're focused more on building your online store, the marketing, and then customer service.
So you're like the storefront and the face of the company, and then everything behind the scenes, that's all taken care of.
Exactly. You got it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So back to Spocket and their very interesting claim here. 5 minutes to set up a drop shipping store. And they even say they use AI for product selection.
Yeah.
How does that even work?
Yeah. So, you can imagine, right? An AI that's constantly out there, scanning the web, looking at trending products, maybe looking at what your competitors are doing, even trying to predict what customers are going to want next. That would be pretty powerful.
Right.
If it could actually help you pick, products that are going to be winners from the get-go. Full disclosure, the video didn't really get into the nitty-gritty of how their AI works.
Yeah.
But, definitely the potential is there, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting to think about.
Okay, so another thing that they get coming back to in this video is high-quality products and fast shipping.
Right.
Especially from, suppliers in the U.S. and the EU.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that so important for drop shippers?
Well, think about it. In drop shipping, you're essentially trusting your supplier to be the face of your brand, right?
Yeah.
When they ship something out, it's coming from you as far as the customer is concerned.
Right.
So the quality of that product, how quickly it gets there, that all reflects back on you.
Oh, that makes sense.
Right. So if something arrives late or it's not what the customer is expecting, that's your problem, even though technically you didn't ship it.
Right.
Now, the benefit of having suppliers in the US and the EU, often you get faster shipping times, which customers love.
Access.
And, maybe even lower shipping costs, especially if your customers are also in those regions.
Yeah.
So you're kind of minimizing those headaches and you're building a brand that people feel like they can trust.
Right. And the whole idea of drop shipping is kind of making your life easier. So the more of that headache you can eliminate, the better, it seems like.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about the setup process.
Okay.
They talk about seamless integration with platforms like Shopify. So what does that even mean? If I'm just setting up my store for the first time, what should I expect?
So think of integrations I guess you could say bridges between different platforms, so they can kind of talk to each other and share data automatically.
Okay.
Right. So in this case, you have Spocket and you have Shopify. So let's say somebody places an order on your Shopify store. Well, with this integration, all that information goes straight to Spocket, and then Spocket takes it from there. They handle getting that order to the supplier,
right,
making sure it's fulfilled. So you don't have to be sitting there manually copying and pasting all that stuff.
Got it.
It's all automatic. So less room for error and, potentially it's going to be faster too.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. So less of that headache like we were talking about before.
Exactly.
All right. So I think the big question that everyone wants to know the answer to is, of course, what about the money?
Right.
Spocket talks about boosting profits with high margins and up to 30% cheaper prices.
Yeah.
So break that down for me a little bit. What are margins, first of all, in this context, and how realistic is that claim?
Okay. So your margin is basically the difference between what you're selling a product for and what it actually costs you to get that product, right?
Okay.
So the higher the margin, the more money you get to keep in your pocket.
Right.
Now, Spocket is saying that they can help you find products for cheaper, right?
Right.
Which can absolutely lead to higher margins. But up to 30% cheaper? That sounds really tempting.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, there are a lot of other things that are going to factor into your overall profit, right?
Right.
Like how you price your products, how much you're spending on marketing. there are always unexpected costs that can pop up. So yeah, do your research.
Yeah. Don't just take that 30% as like a guarantee.
Right. Yeah. Be smart about it.
Yeah. Do your homework.
Okay. Good advice. So they do have a free 14-day trial.
That's right.
You can test drive it before you commit.
Yeah. Definitely take advantage of that. It's always a good idea to try before you buy.
Makes sense.
And yeah, I mean, dropshipping can be a really attractive business model.
Right.
But like anything, you got to be realistic about your expectations.
Yeah.
And you got to plan, right?
Yeah.
You need to research your products. You need to know your market.
Yeah.
Have a solid business plan.
Absolutely.
That's really the key to success in dropshipping.
All right. So as we wrap things up here, I want to leave you with a little bit of a thought experiment.
Okay.
If you could set up a basic store in just 5 minutes, just like that, snap your fingers,
Right.
What would be the very first product you would choose to sell and why? Let us know in the comments. Let's get a discussion going. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll catch you next time.